let me show you where this is taking part. All right, so this is what's happening. And this is where mitosis and meiosis are taking place. For meiosis, we need to make the sperm and the egg. That's the only purpose for meiosis. The sperm and the egg. That's it. Okay? You don't want to make sperm and egg, you don't need meiosis. Okay? The sperm and the egg have half the number of chromosomes. And I'll explain how we got that in a moment. But they have half the number of chromosomes, which means how many chromosomes would they have in each cell? 23. Okay? So if the sperm has 23 and the egg has 23, when they unite in fertilization, they make what we call a zygote. And then you will get the full set of chromosomes, the 46 chromosomes. Now it's one cell. That's it. And it has everything it needs. Then this cell is going to go through mitosis. That one cell turns into 2 cells, the 4 cells, 8 cells, 16, 32. When it gets to 32, it's something now called a normal. Okay? Which is basically looks like a raspberry. Okay? But that's it. And some of these will start differentiating. You have a ball of cells over there. That could be anything it wants. Any one of those cells could be anything they want. Something we call totipotent. It's a stem cell. Okay? So what's going to happen here is that all those cells will start differentiating. Meaning that this, for some reason, is programmed in there, which we still don't understand how it works. But then once in a what will happen is one cell will say, you know what, I'm going to make a muscle cell. This, and then another cell says, I'm going to make an epithelial cell. So now it starts getting differentiated. It starts getting more specific. Okay, you're a muscle cell. But if you go even further, do you want to be a heart muscle cell? Or do you want to be a skeletal muscle cell? Because there are 2 types of muscles. You see? And you get further and further differentiated. Further and further more specific. And those cells will start dividing more and more. Okay? How does it divide? Mitosis. So basically what I want to explain here is that meiosis is only going to be used to make a sperm and an egg. That's it. And you're going to get half the number of chromosomes in one sperm, half the number of chromosomes in an egg. We call that, when it's half the number of chromosomes, something called haploid. When they unite in fertilization, now they're going to become one, and they'll have the full set of chromosomes. In that case, we call it diploid. And from there on out, they will divide through mitosis. They'll develop into different cells, and then you get the man and woman. Okay? So again, can't overemphasize this. Meiosis is only to make an egg and a sperm. That's it. Once they unite, it's mitosis. We're going to see a lot more mitosis in all your cells than in anything else. Okay? Questions on when these occur? Okay. All right. So let's do mitosis. All right. Now, the best way I teach meiosis is talking about shoes. All right? So, what we have here is this. I'm trying to pick colors that things. So let's say we have a pair of purple shoes, and I'm just going to draw shoes like this. All right? And we have a pair of red shoes. And that's in a cell. Now, let me explain what this is. We're talking about 46 pairs of shoes. I'm not going to draw no 46 pairs. Not going to happen. All right? So I'm going to represent 46 pairs of shoes by 2 pairs of shoes. Okay? Fair enough? Who here has 46 pairs of shoes? Anthony was raising his hand. No? No one does? Really? You do? No? Okay. I've always asked this kind of question in my classes when I teach anatomy and physiology. And usually there's maybe one person having that. The highest I went up to, I said, how many had 100 pairs of shoes? Her hand's still up. 270 pairs of shoes she had. I don't know where she kept them. I have no idea. She says, oh, I keep them in my house. I don't know how she does it. What was it? The Philippines, right? Yeah, the queen. And she just had a whole house full of shoes. Yeah, it was a big, that was a decade ago. Yeah, that was pretty big. So, all right, so no one has 46 pairs of shoes. Okay. All right, so what's happening here? We have a pair of purple shoes with purple shoelaces. Those X's represent purple shoelaces. Okay? Listen up, listen up. And we have a pair of red shoes with red shoelaces. Okay? And you're just going to follow. You got a right shoe and a left shoe. A right shoe and a left shoe. Okay? So you have 46 pairs of shoes represented by 2 pairs. Okay? Make it very simple. You've got to follow these chromosomes. Now look what's going to happen. It's going to divide. And a couple things happen in this first division. In the first division, and this goes, by the way, it goes through what we saw mitosis. It's going to have prophase, anaphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Just the way we saw before. Okay, I got a short video to show you this too. I'll show you that. So it goes through the divisions. Okay? We're going to see another division happen. But this division here is what we refer to as meiosis 1. So if we talk about metaphase in this first division, we refer to it as metaphase 1 or anaphase 1. Okay? Now, 46 pairs of shoes. Follow the shoes. 46 pairs have now put, we have 23 pairs here and 23 pairs here. Does that make sense to you guys? You see it? All right, that's why I'm using shoes so you can relate to that. But something else happened during meiosis 1. You see, you got red shoelaces on the purple shoes and the purple shoelaces on the red shoes. There's been a mixture of chromosomes at this time. We call this crossing over. And this explains why, even though you got the same genes as from your mother and your father as much as you and your brother have, well then how do you have it so the 2 brothers don't look alike? It's because of the crossing over. Birds have this too. You might say, hey, that's a sparrow. But each one of those sparrows, if you really look at it, they're different from each other. There's something different. As much as you and I look totally different, we're humans. I guess sparrows look at us and say, oh, they're just people. And they think they all look the same. Right? But each sparrow is different. Okay? Following so far? Okay. Now, we got another division that goes on. the same kind of phases. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. And we refer to this as simply meiosis 2. Okay? So when we talk about metaphase in the second division, we just refer to as metaphase 2. Those are key differences. When you get into anatomy and physiology, we're going to do that. Because in women, the egg that pops out is going to be in metaphase 2 and stays like that unless it gets fertilized. It's the sperm that goes inside that actually makes them complete meiosis. That's over scope for you guys, but we'll be using those in other courses, words like metaphase 2 and prophase 1 and stuff. Now look what happened over here in this second division. 46 pairs in each cell. 23 pairs in each cell. Now 23 shoes in each cell. We have half the number of chromosomes at the beginning in each one of those cells. You see it? Shoes kind of make sense to people for some reason. I say the word chromosomes, they kind of get mush-mush. Right? Now look at this. Are we clear with that? You understand how I get 23 in each cell? I'm represented by only one, but there's 23. You can do this at home if you want. Get your 46 pairs of shoes and separate it. You'll see, you'll count it. It's the same thing. But look what happens to each one of these cells. They're all different, even though they have 23 chromosomes. This is a purple right shoe with a red shoelace. This is a purple left shoe with a red shoelace. This is a red right shoe with a purple shoelace, and this is a right left. You get the But what I'm saying is each one of these cells is completely different from each other. So why don't we just add another tail to it? You see how every sperm is different? You see how it works? Okay? That's why your brother or sister does not look exactly like you. There's going to be some resemblance because you're sharing the same genes from mom and dad, but you don't look absolutely alike. Even identical twins, there's some, even their fingerprints are different. Okay? That's another talk, another day. So does that make sense of this, meiosis? Yeah? Now let me show you how to use this. Okay? First off, that's what I just explained is over here. Okay? Crossing over and stuff. Well, look how this is going to play out. Here you have a sperm. Here you have an egg. Now I'm just going to represent 23 chromosomes because it's something that that Joe mentioned earlier that I'm going to get into. But I'm going to represent 23 chromosomes by one red line in here. And 23 chromosomes over here. Okay? These will fertilize and unite. And in this cell, you will get the full set now. Chromosomes. To make this is meiosis. To make this is meiosis. Just not with a tail. Once they unite, now what's going to happen here is going to be just simple mitosis. Each one of these cells is going to be exactly the same as its parent cell. Right? Each one of these daughter cells. And it goes on and on and on. Do you understand when meiosis takes place? mitosis. We talk to other teachers who teach biological principles, microscope, that students have a hard time, they think they understand it, so I'm emphasizing it to make sure that you understand when meiosis takes place and when mitosis takes place. I think it's a fairly straightforward thing, but he says it's not. I don't know. You clear with that? Yeah? Okay. Now, that's meiosis. And there's where crossing over takes place. All right? So you have the two chromosomes over here. They kind of cross over. A piece of this will go on this. A piece of this will go on that. Okay? And that's why you don't look exactly like your brother or sister, because crossing over occurred. All right, now, to answer your question from the day before. Nondisjunction. Nondisjunction is when things go wrong. For some reason, in meiosis, we're still talking about meiosis, that in the first division, it worked out perfectly. 46 pairs of chromosomes, 46 pairs of shoes, 22 pairs of shoes, 23 pairs of shoes. That worked out. But the second time, the second division, something went screwy. This one divided, right, there's 23 shoes there, there's 23 shoes there. But this one is where non-disjunction occurred. There's going to be not equal distribution. For some reason, there's an extra chromosome that stayed here, and there would be one less over here. We don't know why that occurs. We do know that as women get older, that these eggs over here tend to do that a lot more, but we don't know why. This other example is showing the same thing, but it happened in the first division. So the first division occurs, but the chromosomes stay the same here, nothing over here, and then you got division. So now you got an extra step there. So look what's going to happen here. Let me get back to this picture. If non-disjunction occurs, then technically there's going to be an extra set of chromosomes. Maybe an extra, it's like looking at an encyclopedia set, and you've got, let's say, all the chromosomes there, but there's a duplicate of volume 23. So you got 20, 21, 22, 23, 23, 20, see what I mean? There's an extra chromosome there. So look what's going to happen here. If there's an extra set here, I mean, go this way, now you can have 3 here. Does that make sense? Now mitosis occurs. And you will have 3, an extra set into each one of these as we keep on going. If this occurs, then this is called trisomy. Tri, 3. There's 3 sets of 1 chromosome. If that happens with, let's say, chromosome 21, you'll have 3 sets. We call it trisomy 21, or better known as Down syndrome. If that happens with chromosome 18, that's called trisomy 18, or better known as Edwards syndrome. Edwards syndrome. If that happens with chromosome 13, that's Mitosis syndrome, and so forth. And you can see what it looks like. Some of them are pretty bad, so much that it's not even viable. All right? We understand what trisomy is, right? And trisomy is that when there's 3 versions of one chromosome that occur in the same zygote. The zygote is that fertilized egg. Having an extra chromosome due to this non-disjunction. Most syndromes or most trisomies are incompatible alike. So here's a little tip for you. You've heard the word miscarriage. You don't like that, but it happens. But the #1 cause of miscarriages is trisomy. All right? Don't think of all trisomies Down syndrome. In fact, some Down syndrome are miscarriages. And this is, I guess, Mother Nature's way of saying that there's so much wrong with this particular thing, it wants to get rid of it. It's not just a mental thing. There's also the heart is twisted. The stomach is on the wrong side. It's not going to produce the right enzymes. There's so much wrong with it. It's not compatible with life. So Mother Nature says we need to get rid of this. Trisomies are the #1 cause of miscarriages. There's nothing you could have done. This is what I tell my patients, because I'm an OBGYN. So I've seen quite a bit of miscarriages, probably over 5,000. Just my practice. But what I'm saying is, miscarriages, I usually tell my patients, there's nothing that you've done to cause this. There's nothing that you could have done to prevent it. It's just at this particular moment that dad and mom's chromosomes didn't mix properly. It doesn't mean that the next pregnancy is going to be a full-blown baby boy with no issues. At this particular time, it just didn't happen. And they go through, we're crying and stuff, and that's fine. They need to do that, right? Full circle. They had it in them for, this pregnancy for like 9 weeks or whatever, and then all of a sudden, usually it happens less than 9 weeks, usually like 6 or 7 weeks. But still, they have to grieve. They have to do that full circle thing. All right? This is kind of stuff for yourself, for your future. Okay? So that's MCC is most common cause. That's what that stands for. All right? MCC, most common cause of miscarriages in the first trimester. The first trimester is the first 14 weeks of pregnancy, if you go to 40 weeks. So some may survive, but will have a lot of medical issues. All right? Trisomy 21, which is known as Down syndrome, the extra chromosome 21. There's many features, including a decreased mental status. But there's other things too that we can see. There's like a simian line over here. There's a line that you just don't see on the hand. They have these anthrocanthal folks. I don't want to get into it, but there's a lot of things that they may have. They also get Alzheimer's disease, if they get it, much earlier than the normal people would get it. They get it like, in their 30s or 40s. So there's a lot of issues with that. Then there's trisomy. You don't have to worry about these different ones. You should just know what trisomy is. I won't ask you about these different ones over here. I pulled this out of my lecture from when I did AUD. All right? But even if they do, like trisomy 18 and trisomy 13, if you do deliver that, they usually die by 1 year old, by 1 year old. They don't have, it's really not compatible with life. There's just too much going on inside that it can't withstand all the different, it can't adapt. Okay? Does that make sense about what trisomies are and how to apply this stuff? Yeah? Okay. All right, so, one of the last slides. So the big thing is, since you already know about mitosis, then let's compare and contrast mitosis with meiosis. Okay? I'm not going to ask you much about mitosis on this one, although I can, because you already had it. But I'll be more about the meiosis. On your final exam, comprehensive, yeah, I'll ask you. So don't get confused with the two. So I kind of made this slide up to try and get things organized in your head. So in mitosis, there's one division. Okay? You get 2 daughter cells that are created from that one parent cell. The daughter cells are identical to that parent cell. Same chromosomes, everything. Okay, if there's a mutation in the parent cell, the daughter cells are going to get that mutation. These happen with non-sex cells. Not the egg and sperm, the non-sex cells. We also refer to it as the somatic cells. The end result is that you get two diploid cells that have 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs. Okay, in each new cell. It's when they duplicate before it goes to mitosis that you're going to get 46 pairs. But before they do that, we have the full set of 46 chromosomes. Okay? So that's mitosis. That should be a review for you. Now let's compare and contrast it to meiosis. In meiosis, it's not one division, we have two divisions. Still, we have metaphase, anaphase, or prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. With the two divisions, we have meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. You get 4 daughter cells as a result, not the 2. Crossing over occurs in here, making that you have a mixing of DNA material, and the daughter cells are never identical with each other, let alone from the parent cell. Parent cell is like totally different because you have half the number of chromosomes in the daughter cells. These only occur in the sex cells. We refer to them as gametes, which is the egg and the sperm. It's the only time we do meiosis. And the end result is that we get 4 haploid cells, which means that we have 23 chromosomes, not pairs, we have 23 chromosomes in each cell. Okay? Questions about that? Mitosis club, sorry man, can't let you in. Sperm, do not. Does that make sense for you guys?
Humans produce gametes, eggs and sperm, through the process of meiosis. Here, we'll follow the production of male gametes by focusing on this cell as it goes through meiosis. Let's begin in the nucleus, where genetic information is stored in chromosomes. Most of a person's cells are diploid, with 2 sets of chromosomes. One set is from their mother, shown here in red, and the other set is from their father, shown in blue. Each maternal chromosome has a corresponding paternal chromosome. These matched pairs are called homologous chromosomes. During interphase, chromosomes are duplicated. Each chromosome now consists of 2 identical copies called sister chromatids. Zooming in, we see that each sister chromatid is made up of DNA wound around histone proteins. Each strand coils up into a tight helical fiber. As meiosis begins, a spindle forms and duplicated centrosomes start to migrate toward opposite poles of the cell. Back in the nucleus, the chromosomes are condensing. In meiosis, homologous chromosomes stick together in pairs. The close association of homologous chromosomes allows segments of non-sister chromatids to trade places. This recombination of maternal and paternal genetic material is a key feature of meiosis. After the spindle forms and the nuclear envelope breaks down, microtubules from opposite poles attach to each chromosome of the homologous pair, resulting in a tug-of-war. At metaphase 1, the chromosome pairs are positioned in the middle of the cell. The next stage begins when homologous chromosomes separate from each other and move toward opposite poles. Each chromosome still consists of 2 sister chromatids. This cell began meiosis with 46 chromosomes, but each daughter cell now has only 23 chromosomes. In meiosis II, microtubules from opposite poles attach to the chromosomes, which then move to the center of the cell. Next, the sister chromatids separate, becoming full-fledged chromosomes that move to opposite poles. Nuclear envelopes reform, and each daughter cell divides into 2 cells. We started with a single diploid cell, and now that meiosis is complete, we have 4 haploid cells, cells with a single set of chromosomes. These haploid cells mature into gametes that can contribute to the next generation.